Well, hello there. I am Shay Girl Shay, CHAYGURLCHAY, on Instagram and Snapchat. So if you're looking for me, that's where you'll find me. I'm going to get right into this story. You guys can tell me whether or not you think this is actually a stalker story, because I'm not so sure. The people in my life are convinced that I was being stalked, but you know, like I said, I'll let you guys be the judge. So this stems all the way back to high school. Well, it started off in high school. I went to a sporting event. I met this guy once. He was the friend of a friend. A really close friend. I don't want to say the relationship, but a really close friend. And I had class with one of his exes. The rumor around the school was that he was a nutcase, and she even at one point had to be escorted to her classes by the security guards, and they couldn't be in the hallways or in the same classrooms at the same time. It was just really weird. He friend requested me on Facebook 2 years after I'd graduated and 4 years after he graduated from high school, which was a little odd to me, but you know, I didn't care much. I'm like, okay, friend accepted. At first he started liking all my pictures and liking all of my statuses, and then he started commenting. It was this one status that I had that was like, okay, he likes you. I was fishing for compliments back then. Don't know why, but I was. And it was something, the status was something to the effect of, I haven't been hit on in the longest time. I wonder if there's something wrong. And he was like, no, pretty girl, it's not you, it's them, yada yada yada. And I'm like, ooh, got my compliment, what? I guess he likes me. There was this other status when I was dealing with this guy, and it was distinctly for him. He'd friend requested me, and I was like, any little status I had was basically like a shout out to him, like, this is for you, you my boo, this for you. I just said that already. The status was something like, I know I'm on his mind as much as he's on mine, and the guy comes and he comments and he's like, you don't even know. I'm like, who said that was about you? I want to give him a nickname like JF for Jungle Fever, because he had it, but that's too much. But I don't want to keep calling him this guy. I'm gonna just call him Jay. So time goes on and he gets a girlfriend. He is still liking my statuses and my pictures, but he stopped commenting, which is all I needed. This was perfect for me. I'm like, please. And if you want to unfriend me, that's okay too. Like, and that was, I was saying in my head, I'm like, if you want to unfriend me, please, it's okay. You weird. You could go ahead. His whole relationship played out on Facebook. We saw their highs, we saw their lows, I guess like any relationship that's played out on Facebook. And I saw them that they were engaged, and I'm like, okay, good for them. Makes me never mind, but good for them. I'm like, good for them. And then they broke up. This is when the shift happened. He was all about her, and then he became all about me. So he inboxes me. He's telling me how his heart was broken, and the first person he ever slept with was the girl before this girl. And I'm like, okay. I'm giving him conversation because I genuinely feel bad for him. He was like coming to me with his heart in his hand. This goes on for a while, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's not so weird. Maybe I was just bugging. I'm just gonna fall back. I won't have any preconceived notions about him because of, I guess, what took place in high school and how socially active he was on my page before. That took me aback because I didn't know him. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna throw all of that out the window, and I'm gonna be chill about this. One day he asked for my number, and I'm like, I don't really want to give him my number. And I'm like, look, I don't really want to give you my number, but if it's just texting, I guess it's okay. And he was like, yeah, I talked to your really close friend about it, and he threatened me, and he was like, look, you better not do nothing stupid or I'ma have your head on the platter, yada yada, all that threatening stuff. I gave him my number, and I'm like, look, do not call, just text me. That's perfectly okay. And right after that, I text my really close friend. I'm like, you know, your homeboy just asked me for my number, and then he said y'all had a conversation about it. My really close friend said to me, what are you talking about? He said it was you who wanted us to be friends. Jay said he talked to you about whether or not he should get my number or not. Jay was like, you threatened him. Jay said that he had my best interest at heart. Jay said you were encouraging this to go down. Like, how do you not know? He was like, Jay came to me about that, and I was like, bruh, leave her alone. I'm like, oh, I just ran into this bullet instead of dodging it. I asked my really close friend, what am I supposed to do about this? You aren't even really sure whether or not I should have given him my number. Like, he said he had a whole conversation with you, and now you're saying that this didn't happen. Jay's a creep. I'm back to calling him a creep, y'all. Yes, I flip-flopped on the matter. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? He's like, well, Jay is not a killer, so you'll be all right. What? He texted me and I got right to it. I'm like, hey, I talked to my really close friend. He said he advised you to leave me alone. What was that all about? He played it off. He was like, oh, you know, he's just tripping. What do I do after this conversation? I go MIA like I normally do with people I don't really want to be associated with. I'm feeling like he's not so much weird as like a liar. Like, why would you fabricate a story just to get my number? It did not take that. You saw that I was still conversing with you, whether or not my really close friend approved of it or not. I'm like trying to be here for you, even though I don't know you. And your heartbreak, like, you are telling me everything that's happened to you, and I'm trying to be here from you because I don't want to leave you hanging like that, and then you lied to me. Not dealing with it. Don't talk to him for a while, and then out of nowhere I start getting these random calls, calling frequently. So this can't be a telemarketer. This has to be somebody who is really trying to get me. So I finally answer, and guess who it is? It's Jay. Say hello. He's like, yeah, I've been really trying to get in contact with you. You've been dodging my texts. I'm like, yes, I have. And then he like just changed the subject because I guess he just wanted me to acknowledge that I was dodging his text, and then he just wanted to continue talking. I'm not the kind of person that hangs up on someone because I think that's the ultimate and rude. I want to be like, look, I can't talk to you right now. I'd rather lie to you and be like, hey, I can't talk to you right now, or I got something to do, and then hang up, because I'm not the person that hangs up on someone. And so he's just talking and talking, and he's having normal conversation. Like there hasn't been a month's span in between our communication. I'm like, you and your really close friend have been dodging me, and I've been going through it. I've moved away from Miami. I'm a whole nother person now. I would like to see you when I come back to Miami. And I'm like, you can see my really close friend. Y'all should hook up. And he's like, but I really think you're beautiful. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm just saying okay to get him through this conversation so I can get off the phone. It was just like very short. I was being very short, and he continued to speak. And then at a certain point, like, I saw my opening. I saw my opening to end the conversation because my mother called, and I was like, well, I have a call on the other line, so talk to you later. No, and I wasn't gonna talk to this man later. That number I blocked. He called again from another number. I had another conversation with him. Blocked that number. Then he called again from another number. And I answered, and I blocked that number too. It was the time he called, it was like, I'm going to acknowledge that you don't text me back. I'm going to acknowledge that you've been ignoring my calls. And then I'm going to have normal conversation with you like nothing happened. And like you want to have a conversation back with me even though you're being short with me. I blocked all 3 of his numbers, and I told my really close friend, like, look, you need to talk to him. Because something is not right in the water, Jesus. What is he sipping? This is not okay. Went on for months. And then he started being socially active again. Go on my Instagram, like all of my pictures, unlike them, and then like them again so that I can notice that he liked them again. He just really wanted me to pay attention to him, and I was not giving him that satisfaction. I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over with. Really close friend, you need to handle this. And my really close friend is just disregarding me. And to the point where I'm I'm about to get the guy that I'm dealing with involved, and takes to writing me on Facebook again, I guess because I've blocked all of his numbers and he can't call me anymore, and I'm not responding to his text messages. Why was he so clingy? Why was he so clingy? Jay takes to writing me on Facebook again, and then out of nowhere he proposes to me. Just proposes to me. Disregard his Facebook message. He takes to Instagram. I feel like I was going through it with the guy I was dealing with at the time, and I posted something like food makes everything better, or TV makes everything better, or something ridiculous, and he was like, a ring makes everything better. What? I finally replied, because I'm like, okay, he's going too far, and my really close friend is just watching all of this play out and laughing like it's funny. Back to him, or it can make everything way more complicated than it needs to be. Basically responds like, wow, okay then. Was it something I said? He goes on Facebook and requests my really good female friend, and he follows her on Instagram too, and he's liking all of her pictures and things, and she's like, well, I think it might be a little sweet that he's trying to be a part of your friends if he's trying to get to you. Like, that's showing like real interest. And then I told her all the stories that happened, and she was like, block him on everything, just block, and I'm like, you block him too. Like, have you seen some of his statuses? I'm like, I'm never ever on Facebook, so when I do get on, I see who likes my stuff. I might make a new status and then I get off. It's not me snooping around at other people's pages or looking even at the updates. And then I go and I look at his statuses, check his statuses, and all of them are really chauvinistic. It's like a woman belongs in the kitchen, a woman is just supposed to have babies, a woman is. I'm like, what modern day woman are you gonna end up with? That's probably why the engagement did not work out. You wanted this girl to give up all of her identity and just be your little housewoman, housewife. What? I really wish things would have worked out between them though, so he wouldn't have been bothering me, but I digress. This didn't seem like much to me because it was happening over time, and I'm like, I could just poo-poo this away. I'm not answering his calls, I'm not answering his texts, even though he's very persistent. I didn't feel like I was being stalked, because I'm like, if I'm not giving him any attention and he's still going, that just makes him a persistent person. It doesn't make him a stalker. He's not looking through my window. Like, then something happened that didn't quite sit right with me. I talked to my really close friend one night, and I'm telling him all that is taking place. I'm like, you know, he proposed to me and he doesn't even know me. You know, he's still hitting me up. You know, he's not taking no for an answer. You know, he wants to see me when he gets back to town, and I'm trying to pawn him off on you. And my really close friend is like,
why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't I tell you what? He's like, why didn't you tell me in high school that you wrote him? I'm like, I don't know him now, and I didn't know him then. It's like, Jay told me that you wrote him this long note about how much you liked him and how much you wanted to be together, but you know that it would put a strain on the bond that you and I had, and he didn't want to make things uncomfortable. And I'm like, he say, huh? Look, I can't even formulate the sentences. Jay told you what? I don't know, Jay. I don't know, Jay. He's like, well, obviously he felt comfortable enough to propose to you. And I'm like, okay, we need to have a conversation. So I get to pulling up all the Facebook messages. I screenshot what took place on Instagram, and then I delete it because I don't want the universe to see this proposal, well, this halfway proposal that took place on my Instagram page. Like, oh, I didn't know. Well, because you weren't taking it seriously. Then he goes right back to the, well, Jay's not a murderer thing. Why did I even have a conversation? Afterwards, Jay deleted me from Instagram and Facebook. I guess because he was upset that I wouldn't marry him, even though I did not know him But I digress. And I was really happy about it. I'm like, hey, more power to him for moving on. He fine enough. I still continue to follow him on Instagram, and right when I made my page public again, he followed me again. I'm like, oh God. And he went straight away back to liking all of my pictures. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I saw that he had a new life. He had a new girlfriend. They got engaged. She was pregnant. I'm like, yes. One time for you, Jay, for finding you some happiness and making it a whole situation. Yes, one time for you. And he started, I guess, having trouble in his relationship, and he hit up my really close friend. My really close friend was not answering his calls. How about when I'm with my really close friend, Jay shows up to the house. He'd already been to his house before, so he knew where he stayed, but it was only once. Oh no, his recollection must have been A1 to know exactly where to come. But he showed up and started honking, and I'm like, are you kidding me? We about to die tonight. Yep, we about to die tonight. That'll teach you to disregard his phone calls. He'll just pop up on you. So my really close friend goes outside, and I stay in the house. Having the longest conversation outside, and he texts me that Jay wants to see. Look, I don't even know what possessed him to think he could type out and send that message to me, but the disregard was so real. Lord, I stayed my dog in that house and did not come out. My really close friend tells me everything that took place. He's like, Jay is really going through it. He just needs a friend, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't even know Jay, okay? And what I do know of him is crazy. Who proposes to somebody they don't know? Who does that? And it was probably with the same engagement ring he gave the other girl that broke up with him. And then he probably gave that ring that I was not gonna take to the new girl that he has pregnant. Look, I don't want parts. I don't want any parts of it. And so therefore I had zero parts of it. My really close friend dealt with Jay a couple more times, and then Jay, I guess, just kind of went away with his problems and fixed them with his girl. Fast forward to last week. I do not have Jay as a friend on Facebook. Why are 3 of my public pictures liked by Jay? Bruh, just be happy with your woman and your child. She done gave birth now. Give all of your attention to her. Build with her. You don't know me. I do not know you. Oh, seriously, I really cannot figure out why he's still seeking me out. I don't know him. He does not actually know me. He may have created this whole story in his head that I gave him a letter in high school. He may have created this whole thing where we had a relationship good enough for him to give me a ring and be his wife. I've never met him other than those hellos at that sporting event. I tell you, no lie, I do not know this boy. And he's still, like, I can't get rid of him. So here I am again at this point trying to figure out what the moral of this story should be. I guess it's when you have a situation with a stalker-like person, make sure you don't entertain them from the get-go if you have a gut feeling that they are a creeper. That's number 1. And number 2, when you have a significant other in your life and they are offering to handle the situation for you, maybe go ahead and let them handle the situation. Or the police. This did not involve the police, or didn't call for the police, I don't think. Well, you guys will let me know. I am going to stop right here. This is the end of whatever this was that I just got through talking about. If you like this story, please like, comment, and or subscribe. If you didn't and you did not click off in the beginning, which I hope you did, one time for you anyway. I will talk to you guys later.